Hello, welcome to American Update again. I'm Ed Montoya with some headlines I'd like to discuss for Friday, December 18th, 2020. The first one I saw on the internet reads that December is shaping up to be the pandemic's deadliest month yet in the United States. According to the article, it's the deadliest month on record so far this year since April, around the time the pandemic was starting. And I know there's been a surge, supposedly, there's been a surge the last couple of months in the number of coronaviruses, of illnesses, of cases diagnosed, and of deaths, now they say. But I can't help but wonder, maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm the only one asking this question, Maybe someone would slap me and say, get back in line and toe the line. But I can't help but ask the question, whatever happened to the flu? Doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, every year around this time, doesn't flu season begin? So what happened to the flu? And every year, something we take for granted, but thousands of people every year in America, as well as in other countries, thousands of people even die of the flu. The elderly, people with immune deficiency, deficient immune systems, as well as sometimes very young children. We take it for granted that the flu is serious. And as was early this year, it was rather discounted and discredited, and everybody thought, this is coronavirus. Again, there's a surge in deaths. Very deadly month in December so far due to the coronavirus and the flu. Now, I know they're not the same thing. If anybody attacks me and says, idiot, they're not the same thing. We made the mistake, several of us at the start of the year, early in the year, as this thing was developing, taking shape, taking form, we did not know very well what this strange virus X was. We got the name early in the year for it, and a lot of us mistakenly said it's another form of the flu. It's proven itself to be a little bit more severe than the flu, to say the least. A little more resilient, is hanging on. But I can't help but wonder. There is a flu. I pass by, or I don't know why they do it, but I pass by, for example, supermarkets with signs outside that say, in their pharmacy sections, they have flu shots, flu injections available, vaccinations, free with medical insurance. Now, I don't know if they really don't believe, they're not putting any stock in the flu anymore, or they're offering the flu shots just for money, as a money maker. There are people every year who go and get their flu shots. I've done it a few times, not every year. But I wonder, what happened to the flu? Now, I'm one of those naysayers who don't think that everybody who comes up with anything closely remotely connected or appearing to be the flu automatically has the coronavirus. Are people who are going to the doctor, going to the hospital to be checked, whether they think, I have the flu like normal, like I get every year, or I'm afraid I have the coronavirus, they go in and what they have is just the flu. Are they automatically being diagnosed as having the coronavirus? Now, you might say, but the coronavirus test, they're all being tested. I don't know if they're all being tested. Some doctors there's so many patients they treat in the day, they see a symptom that's a little bit severe and say, you've got the coronavirus, you have to go into quarantine. If you don't think that's possible, I've heard some things that are a little suspicious that bothered me early in the year. There's one senator, I can't remember if it's Senator Johnson or it's not Rand Paul. I know it's a senator who by trade is a doctor. I heard him say several months ago that few days, while he was back at home, I don't remember what state, at his practice on a break from the Senate, he received a 7-page memo from a higher up stating how he was to handle diagnosis of anything remotely appearing to be the coronavirus, in which situation he was to list the diagnosis as coronavirus or the cause of death for one who had died as the COVID-19 or coronavirus, however they wrote it down. And that seems suspicious to me, that his higher ups, that bosses were pushing people, pushing doctors whenever possible, it appears, to put down ailment, the diagnosis, or cause of death as the COVID-19. Also, number of deaths. I was talking with somebody about this a long time ago, several months ago. I've talked a few times. There is that term that makes people on the left roll their eyes and scoff and sigh when we mention it. But there are underlying causes, underlying illnesses. Not everybody who dies had only the coronavirus. There are people who with advanced cancer, serious heart disease, other ailments. They caught the coronavirus somewhere, either out of the hospital or in the hospital while they were in there. And either it finished them off or they ended up dying of the weak heart or of the cancer. Cause of death is put down as coronavirus. No, I don't think so. There's that exaggeration, there's that hiding. I can't help, as I said, but wonder what has happened to the flu this year. Is everything just being listed as cause of death? Coronavirus. The doctor tells you, you got the COVID-19. The second headline. This one's ridiculous. It makes me shake my head for real. From Time Magazine, this is about Time Magazine article, not actually in Time, but about something somebody said on Time. The woke mob, quote-unquote woke mob, slammed for saying Helen Keller is just another, quote, privileged white person, quote, in Time article. For those of you who don't know who Helen Keller was, she died over 50 years ago. She was an author, a political activist, and a lecturer. Now, the unusual thing about that in her case was that she had been blind and deaf since the age of 2 years old. The woman overcame some tremendous obstacles to become a writer, an activist, a lecturer, and as the article put it, that she worked for the advancement of those with disabilities. Now, while I don't agree with her politics, she was a socialist. She always advocated socialism. I do commend the lady. She was a giant for what she did, overcoming her handicaps, and they were serious, to live in a world of darkness, to become the writer and the activist that she was, to become the lecturer. That was tremendous. Now, advocating socialism as she was, I would say the left, concerning the left-wing media, mainstream media, they're slamming one of their own. Because today, for how she would be speaking today, she'd be seen as a hero. She'd be seen as one of theirs, someone on the left. She's being slammed just because she's a white person. She was white. That doesn't make sense. Her obstacles, her handicaps, didn't matter. Now, if you're white, you don't count. So that doesn't make sense, and that's just, I think the left doesn't understand the left sometimes. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.